Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new series on Football Manager 2021. I've actually been really looking forward to this for multiple reasons. I decided I wanted to get back into YouTube, especially as I've now purchased a brand new computer, which is, in my opinion, a very good computer. It can actually record in 1080p, it can do a lot of things, it isn't going to stutter, and hopefully you guys should be able to see in the quality compared to my old videos, and you should be able to enjoy it a little bit more, in my opinion, too. Another reason is I love Football Manager. I wanted to do a Football Manager career mode anyway, no matter what. And it's also something that I probably am going to spend more consistently uploading, because I enjoy Football Manager more than FIFA at this point, especially this year. And to be fair, I just love Football Manager. And that's pretty much it. One of the other things that I was kind of delaying on making this video was because I wasn't too sure on the team I'm going to be managing. While I'm talking about it, I can go forward a little bit, but I've already decided the team. Now, there was 3 teams I was thinking about. One was AC Milan, where it's a foreign country. I've never managed in Italy before. There's loads of great teams in Italy, so you're going to be trying to fight for Serie A, Champions League football. But also they've got a bit of financial crisis at the moment because of their reckless spending in the last few years, where you have to kind of be very... You got to be very financially careful in the market. So you need to be careful who you buy, who you sell for the right price and stuff like that. And a part of me kind of liked that idea. The other team was actually a team in the Premier League, and although they are rivals to my favourite team, Birmingham City, it was West Brom. Now, half of my family are actually West Brom fans, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for West Brom. But not only that, it's also going to be... no offence to my family, but it will definitely be a survival series. It will be a survival in the first year, and then the second year, how do we turn this team that's very defensive and got to be careful into a bit more of an attacker team that can actually try and cement themselves in the Premier League a bit more with the money that's given from the Premier League TV rights and stuff like that. But the other one was the team we've done multiple videos on before, and that's Birmingham City, my team I support and I love. And originally I was leaning more towards the West Brom one, to be fair, if I'm honest. But ever since last night, where we lost 4-0 to Derby, I thought to myself, this is... God, it's dire straits at Blues at the moment, isn't it? At the moment, we're playing very defensive football. So it's how Jose Mourinho plays, because... Oh, perfect. It's literally all set up how I had it before. And I'll tell you why I wanted it like that. But we'll jump into it. It doesn't matter. It's got everything that I wanted it to be in. That's fine. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, with Blues, we're playing a very defensive football, just like how Jose Mourinho was, because their current manager, which is Kankra, or Kankra, I don't know how to say his name correctly, or I could be saying it right, but just don't think I am. Anita Kankra, I think it is, something like that. He was the assistant manager under Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid when he was the Real Madrid manager, obviously, and he pretty much learnt a lot from him. Now, he went on to get Middlesbrough promoted. He then got sacked from Middlesbrough after getting relegated with them, and then he went to Nottingham Forest. Done alright there, in my opinion. I think he very much underachieved with Nottingham Forest, but that's my personal opinion. And then he got sacked, and then Blue signed him as their new manager after getting rid of Pep Clotet. Sorry. So yeah, we've been playing quite defensive football, not the greatest if I'm honest. We're starting to be a bit more attackive recently, I've noticed, in like the match stats and stuff like that. And the one thing that seems to be terrible at the moment is our form. It's so inconsistent, it's ridiculous. We've signed a few decent players, we've signed a few older players to add a bit of experience to the team, which some of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with, but you'll see what I mean in a minute when we jump into the team. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, somewhat. So I've already created the profile because it's got my face scan, so I kind of look a bit like that. If that helps you guys in any way, that's going to be the name, so it's nice and easy. The appearance, we're just going to change the date because technically they don't actually have the year in which I was born. I was born in 2001, so I'm only 1 year off. It will be next year in which I can have it, but that is the suit and tie. We're going to have blue tie and everything. I wonder if we can, if we click use club colours, does it use the blue? Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. These are my stats. I've already messed around with them. I've just put them as the highest one possible because I'm currently doing, in my own spare time, a journeyman campaign, but with Werner Bremen in Germany. And I went with the no coaching badges and slowly going up, but it takes such a long time, so I thought, you know, this is going to be a few season campaign. We'll see how far we can get. Hopefully we'll get promoted and see how far we can do with Blues and try and create a really nice creative football, but we'll talk a little bit more into that a little bit later on. But yeah, we'll just decided to go with the thingy, so we get the highest ones. We'll confirm that, and then we should be ready. Boom, there we are. I am the new manager of Birmingham City. We're on a 14k a week, predicted to finish 18th, so that pretty much tells you right now where we are. Surprisingly, I didn't think it was actually that bad, because when the Football Manager first came out, it was predicted to finish 11th, but it's now updated us to finish 18th, so it could be more of a struggle than what I thought, because originally I was thinking, oh, we could try and push for playoff football this season, but maybe that is not the case. But as you can see, the game has recognised us to be a very defensive team. This is not what I'm going to do. I am not going to be doing this. This is a terrible. I want to be a bit more attacking, a bit more possession based, personally. So these are the club culture. Develop players using the youth system. It can be done. It's a bit. You can't. It's a look at the draw, if I'm honest. Really, play entertaining football and play attacking football. Okay, so maybe they did want a new manager. Maybe they've had enough of Kankara style of football, so they've brought me in to get that sorted. I can do that. That is not a problem. Work within the wage budget, of course. We might go a little bit over that though. Top half finish in the championship compared to where we're expected to finish. That is interesting. And really, the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, it's where you expect to be. Now, it's still acting to me as if I'm a new guy, but what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to send these all today, so they're all out of the way, and I never have to deal with this ever again. Yeah, I know I like to do that. No. Yes. So this is actually the this is actually going to be episode 0. And you might be wondering, what episode 0? Well, how does that make any sense? So this is pretty much telling you about the save, the setup of the save. So if you guys wanted to do it too, you can get it, so you can get the right players if we sign and stuff like that. So setup, we're going to be walking through the squad. We're going to be walking through, comparing them compared to the rest of the league, roughly what we expect. And then next episode, once it's over, we're going to go through, we would have finished all the friendlies. I can show you through all the friendly results, who's been our best player, our tactic, and the style of football that we're playing, and I can be quite decisive on that then too. And any transfers before the first game of the season. So if we have a quick look at the schedule list, our first game of the season is actually the Carabao Cup, which is actually interesting. But I think it's my first competitive game, and the way how I do videos is 3 games a month, and as you can see, there's only 4 matches here that are going to be in it. So what I think I might do is we will record our first episode, and it will have the Carabao Cup. Then it'll be our first game against Brentford, and then I don't know who else with these two. It depends on what I think at the time, but it could be good to have Rotherham or Rotherham. Yeah, Rotherham. But there are some great players. We're going to add more friendlies as well, so I can build more of a tactic and get some team cohesion. So let's have a quick look at the team. Let's go to the team report. We don't need to skip it. Why is it not doing that? Oh, you need a tactic selected, and we need... Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. So squad depth. Let's have a look at the squads overall. I like to do it just all positions. And then what I normally do is current overview, and you can see roughly here what kind of formation we can do. So we can go a 4-2-3-1, which is what everybody does. We've got good defensive mids apparently, in the sense of San Jose and Sunvich. So we might actually, that might be a good idea to try and use a defensive midfielder, but I'll try and figure a way out so we can bring in San Jose. But yeah, we've got a decent team. Let's look at some of the key players in this team. I do not need to know this. Let's have a look at the key team. So one thing you've noticed right now, we've got a huge team, which is good in the Championship, but if I'm honest, the team is way too big, and we will be looking to offload a few players to try and bring in a few players into the squad, because we do need, in my opinion, another striker. But like I said, let's have a look at the best players of this. So we'll go to the ability. So according to this, our best player is actually Sanchez, a new signing that we've got. He's a little bit of a baller in real life, but as you can see, he's an inverted winger, so he's best at that. He can do an inside forward, but his finishing isn't great, but a solid player nonetheless. His dribbling is amazing, his off the ball, his technique and his determination is what I love to see. His vision's great as well. He's a really good winger. It's just his long shots are dreadful. So something to keep in mind. He's on 17k a week. My God, and he's valued at £5.25 million. The next one is San Jose, another new player, 31, who was originally playing for Atletico Bilbao. Just a quick disclaimer, I will get the club badges in here, just give me time, I will get it done. A solid player. I actually thought his stats would be a little bit better than that, but nonetheless a solid player, and he can also play as a defender as well, so we might use him as a defender rather than a defensive midfielder. The next best one is actually we've actually got quite a few at this kind of level, and I'd say all of these are great, but we'll go through them. So we've got Maxi Collin. What can I say? Just a solid right back. Nothing really more. Villalba is currently on loan. I think we're trying to sell him, but I don't know how that goes. I'm wondering if we can even try and recall him back. Loan cannot be terminated, so he's on loan for the entire season. So we'll get him back next season. Okay, interesting. My favourite player at the club, Jeremy Belair. We can use him as inside forward, an inverted winger as well. So we've got different tactics and strategies. He's just not a good header of the ball, but everything else, in my opinion, he's quite good at. He's got good flair, great technique, composure. I thought his finishing would be a little bit better, but a solid winger nonetheless. We've got Jack Clark-Salter on loan from Chelsea. I actually thought his stats would be a bit better than what they are, but a good defender nonetheless. And he's 22 and he's English. So then we've got Dan Crowley, who I'm probably going to struggle to try and fit into the squad if I've got any assumption of the tactic we're going to be playing. But he's a good attacking midfielder, and he can fall back into that midfield slot if he needs to be. We've then got Pedersen, who is wanted by a German and American team. Interesting. But as you can see, he's got some beautiful green stats here. As you can see, his work rate is ridiculous, and he's got good speed, good stamina. But except from that, he's a solid left back. And when we done the Football Manager beta for, I think it was 19, when we played as Blues, he was one of our key players in my opinion. The next one, our highest transfer fee ever, Ivan Sunvic. A real wow, his stats are actually great. Determination's amazing, work rate, he's a proper workhorse, I love it. Teamwork's great, positioning's brilliant, marking, tackling's alright. Not the best speed, but we expected that. His bravery, so he's going to be a proper ball win midfielder, which is interesting. And probably our biggest and most important player, new signing of this season in real life, Neil Etheridge, our goalkeeper, who is from the Philippines. Now, in real life, I think he's an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. In this game, I think he's decent. He's good for a championship, but he ain't Premier League, in my opinion. But he is a fantastic player, nonetheless. And he's going to be so much more important. He's so much more better than Lee Camp was. And I know that when we played the beta save in the Football Manager 2019, we actually got promoted with Cusack in goal, and I don't think he was as good as actually Etheridge in this case. But nonetheless, a really good player. I'm just going to have a quick scroll through, see if there's any key players here that I'm going to notice that we're going to be using a lot. Maybe Lecco. I ain't seen his stats. Okay, so Lecco is going to be our forward. But if I'm honest, there isn't. To be fair, at least he's speedy. At least he's speedy, so he can do that job for us. Who else is a key player? I'd say Gary Gardner. I really like Gary Gardner in real life as well. Just a solid, good box-to-box midfielder. He can do any role, really, if I'm honest, and that's why I like him so much. George Friend, our new left-back if Pendleton wants to leave, but he can play centre-back as well. And to be fair, he suits a centre-back a lot better, interestingly enough. Our top goal scorer last season, Lukas Jukovic. And honestly, yeah, he's just a target man. There isn't much more. You can potentially put him as a pressing forward, which I think actually more likely we would do with him, but a target man none the least. But that's the team. Staff, I'm going to rehaul the entire staff, and next episode you'll see who the main men are. So me as manager, me as assistant, my head youth, and my head scout. Is there any other, like, oh, and my director of football. They are the main boys in the staff. They are the main men. They are the people that I'm going to be asking for advice and stuff like that. I just said men, but there are actually women in this game as well. So there are women staff and stuff in this game. I know that there's a woman coach. There are a few women scouts. There's actually a really good one at Borussia Dortmund, which I've hired quite a few times in the past. Not as Blues, obviously, but as other bigger clubs, or as Blues when I've made them a bit bigger in the Prem. But yeah, very interesting. We've got a lot of work to do. Oh God! But this is the talking point, which actually is a bit better than what I thought. In the available budget, we've got £1 million, which is a little bit to spend. We can make a bit of movement actually on that. And for the wage budget, we've got 6k, which is not a lot at all. So we need to reevaluate that. But that is pretty much the comparison to the rest of the team. How could I forget? So, something that I must state before we go and have a look at the team comparison is the team cohesion. So, I'm actually recording this a little bit later on because somebody did call me through this, but I can't edit it out. But as you can see, the team morale and the dressing room atmosphere and the cohesion between the players are terrible. So that's why we're going to play a lot of terrible clubs in the friendlies to get team morale up. But either way, we'll jump onto the comparison now. There we go. So, generically, if we take away goalkeeper, average age, we've got an older team. We've got averagely decent height, average weight. Wages is actually a little bit below average. And we're actually a bit below on the average player value as well. A little bit depressing, that is. Let's go to the technical side, take away the goalkeeper. So technically, this is what we are. We're very good at throw-ins. I think that's throw-ins. Yeah, long throw-ins. Wow, okay. Really good at long throw-ins. So technically we're quite good. We're actually above average in most stats. The only thing is finishing, we're crap at. But like I said, we need a good striker. Dribbling, we're terrible at, but our wingers are actually really good at dribbling. Passing is dreadful. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Technique is decent. Okay, so it's not too bad. Mentally, how are we as a club? Mentally, we are some of the best. Position-wise, we're amazing at. Bravery, we're amazing at. So we're going to be a hard tackling team, obviously. You can clearly see that. Like determination and stuff like that. Flair is terrible, and composure is terrible. Interesting. If we go to physical, we'll take away goalkeepers as well. I said we was going to be more of a physical team, but maybe not, according to this. Maybe not. Right, so it's a bit of a random balanced team, really, if I'm honest, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be... The tactic seems to be the case of we're going to build it more to individuals rather than building it for the team generically when we can just replace players in and out. It will be built more for individuals, it seems like. I think I must claim, real quick, I am not a great football manager player. I'm decent, I can get teams promoted, I can win trophies. But I'm not amazing. You ain't going to see something absolutely spectacular. So what you're going to see, if anything, is probably going to be a bit more of a struggle. But the chance of us getting to the Premier League this season in my opinion, we can do it. We can do it. We can get top 6, in my opinion. But I could reevaluate that in January, and we can really talk about where we see ourselves in January. I think that's going to be a better point. But in my opinion, I think playoffs is what we're aiming for. If we can aim for playoffs, be very happy with that. And then if we don't get through the playoffs next season, that's where we're going to start looking for the automatic promotion spot, because we'll build the team solely for that. But pretty much that is the end of the episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to seeing this this new series, because I sure am. And I will see you guys next time. See ya.